welcome to Sing Scarlet and Shelby here with Tyler, and we have a condensed show because all the sports have kind of slowed down. Thank the Lord. But there's big things happening. Just got back from the Lady Raider game tonight. They moved to 10-0 on the season with a dominant 40-point win over Wichita State, as they should against that team. But they did what they needed to do against them. We're going to talk through that. We have highlights. We have clips from the press conference, all the notes, all the things we saw. And then, of course, the biggest game in Texas Tech football history is coming up on Saturday. We're both going to be there. I'm covering the game, so I'll be in the press box. Tyler will be in the he had a student ticket. We have like royalty right here, like the Taco Bell student section. He might make TV. I don't know. So he's going to get you maybe some content from the student section. I'll be doing all the other. We'll do as much as we can for y'all guys and share that on the next show next week. But we got the preview, how we're going to beat BYU again. BYU's hungry. I know that much because they have to beat us to get in the playoffs. So we're going to get everything they have. I think it could be a good game. I hope it's not, but it could be a good game. So that's what's going on. We'll see you in Arlington. If anyone's there, hit us up. Say hey. Let's have a party. And let's get some more wins. And women's basketball is off until the 12th. Men's basketball will be playing this weekend in Fort Worth as well on Sunday. So we'll have a couple of things to recap next week. But it's starting to slow down a little bit, which is good. Because Tyler has finals. Not me. Thank God. But students and athletes have finals next week, so things will slow down. But that's kind of where we're at. Tyler, how are you?
Yeah, well, actually, my classes lucked out this year. I did not really have any finals, so we're all done with that. Yeah, we're chilling.
God,
We're
you're
chilling.
such a senior.
Yeah, we're chilling with that. But no, I'm super excited for this weekend. I think it's gonna be such a fun time to see, us win our first Big 12 championship. I think there's a lot on the line, and I think that this game is just a good moment for us Texas Tech fans to really just soak it all in. And I think that this is what this team's been working for. This is what they've been paying for. I mean, just a lot on the line. So I'm very excited about that. And then, yeah, the Lady Raiders tonight moving to 10-0, halfway to 20 wins, as we saw on one tweet today. So, I mean, making moves, making moves.
Making moves. Yeah. It was a good win. It was a great win. We
It
talked about
was.
Wichita State earlier in the week that Coach Clark says they're a team that she thinks will get better as the season goes. She respects their coach and all those things. They haven't been playing good, but they do have good athletes, and you saw that in this game. So you were there. We saw they're very long. They're very
Yes.
athletic. Their
Yes.
defense isn't terrible. Like that hasn't necessarily been their problem this year. They just can't put the ball in the basket, and that's kind of what we saw in this. Compounded with the fact that we are a very good defensive team. I think it was probably their lowest output of the year offensively. But if that team could just hit some damn shots, Tyler, they would win some games in the American. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll figure it out. It'd be good for us if they figure it out. But they're very long and very athletic, and it gave us some trouble early in the game. We were actually losing about like 5 minutes into the game. Tyler was like, 5 minutes in the game should be over. I'm pretty sure we were losing 5 minutes into the game. They didn't get the memo. But we quickly flipped a switch and went on a 22-0 run across the end of the first quarter into the second quarter and kind of took control of the game. They probably scored, I think Gerlich said after the game, they scored more in the second and the third quarters than they wanted to allow. They allowed more than, which is crazy standards, but I love this, but they allowed more than 10 points in the second and the third quarter. That's horrible. But no, for this team, they don't want to do that, right? And so they wanted to lock that up. So in the first quarter, I think they outscored them 17-6.
Mm.
In the fourth quarter, Texas Tech outscored them 21-6. So they held them to 6 points in the first quarter, 6 points in the fourth quarter, gave up a little more than they wanted to in the middle, ended up winning by 40, though, Tyler. So not a lot of complaints. Once they got it together, it looked good.
Did. It looked good, and like what I really liked, and I know Coach Gerlich mentioned it in her presser, was that our shots were finally starting to fall. I think our three ball looked way better tonight than
Definitely
what
had
it
their
has been.
legs back under
Yeah,
them.
for sure. I mean, we made 10 threes tonight, so 42% from the field. You're gonna love to see that. So I think it was really good to see that, we looked more, we weren't as tired because we didn't play those, 3 games in 5 days. We were kind of talking about, are we going to stay level or are we going to look like that we're starting to make some strides? And I think that tonight, like while it was not necessarily some of these players' best games, we still were able to find ways to win. And we were talking about how other people need to step up, and other people for sure did step up tonight to kind of keep us, either at that level or maybe a little bit above as we're heading into these next few like weeks and breaks and things like that.
Yeah, and I think the offense looked better, not just because shots were falling, but just the movement was better. And you heard, I believe it was Coach Walters in the pregame on the radio. I was listening, and there was like a point of emphasis, and I love that. And they were talking about this game isn't about Wichita State necessarily in the most effective way possible. It's more about preparing for the Big 12, and that we can't be always, which ironically we'll get into the numbers in a minute, we can't always rely on half court offense, right? It's a hard way to win if you don't score some in transition, if you don't take advantage of breaks and things like that, if you don't, and then once you get into the half court, we can't just stand and stare at each other, which is kind of what there was a lot of that going on last week. And so he talked a lot about how they've been working on moving, not just with the ball, but like if you don't have the ball, you need to be moving. You can't just stand and wait for it all the time. So I felt like we saw that a little bit. And sometimes I think we saw that to the extent of where we were kind of running into each other on a few things on the offense. But I prefer that versus just standing there because that shows me they're working on something. And Gerlich alluded to in the postgame that they were mixing in some new sets and some new kind of events and actions within their offense that they were trying to work in. And I think you saw that, and some of it worked, some of it was a little clunky at times, but that's exactly what games like this are for. So I love that this team is not settling, and they're not just like, okay, let's go out and beat Wichita State by 30 doing what we've been doing. Like, no, let's go beat them by 40 and get better for the Big 12. So let's show you the highlights. Look at that extra pass. That's what we're talking about, ball movement. She could have forced that shot, but she found a wide open Zane, who started the first, second, and third quarter with a 3 for us. Bailey ended up with like 1 free throw shot in this game, but they were doing that to her. I don't know if they were like over concerned about fouling Bailey because they just like would just let her get to the rim. They were just like, don't foul her. It was crazy. I think he was even surprised at how easy that was.
Look at them and just the length. The way they take up space on the court really stands out.
Look at Snutta.
Snutta was, I don't know if that's one of the new elements that they're adding. She was posting up a lot more in this game. Just something I'm going to watch moving forward.
Work.
Finisher. Hema, I love her. She refuses to give up a turnover. She said, no, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to get this. I made a mistake, but it's not going to go in the book as a turnover because I'm going to get it back. Fritz started with a 3. She was shooting it well. 3 of 5 from 3. It wasn't Jalen's best shooting night, but I really love that Jalen just keeps shooting. Like, I think we're more dangerous when, like, Jalen Bristow is shooting. Like, I don't know what her percentages are. They'll ebb and flow. That's how basketball works. But just because people have to respect her out there, because she might miss 5, but she's going to make 2 or 3. And that's 9 points, you know? So I appreciate that she's confident and just keeps shooting. She trusts herself. She's going to get on a hot streak again, but she still had 2 threes in this.
They're too good defensively. You've got to work.
Sydney was really good, efficient in this game.
Here we go, Bailey.
Bailey quietly had 10 points.
That is really good.
Look at this patience from Jada. I love watching players that understand basketball, and Jada Malone, very high IQ. There's a 3. Buckets.
Love that.
Once again, she started well in the first half, and then other people took over in the second. Hey, offensive rebounding. Hema. I don't know if she 1 for 1 in this game. Yeah, 1 for 1, so that percentage is only going up, Tyler. It's going to be our best 3-point shooter. Kidding. Danae Fritz is our prettiest form on the team, for sure. Could watch her shoot all day. Look at this patience. She's, oh my gosh. Come on.
Oh.
Like, what are we doing, Jada? Yeah, that was
so easy. That was so fun.
She was like, oh, okay, thank you. Very sneaky. Once again, patience from Jada. Lets everybody get out the way, and then she just takes this girl. Like, and the girl she's gone up against is not like a tiny little thing. Like, she had some good physicality to her. Sydney, our superhero. She was perfect from 3. Quietly had 8 points.
Great job there.
It was such a good play by Adley. She had really, really good minutes in this. That tip out, and then for Bailey to reward her there, I love it. I love this team. Running the floor, again, that's an area where I think we're going to keep getting better. But we're actually, our transition is, like, looks like there's actually something happening this year.
Get a little bit deeper into the bench is Love able to get that one to go down.
Sydney's going to win us some games this year. Just being, I don't know why the highlights stopped there, but we go on to score another 7 points. But we had brought in some reserves at this point. Amy Sanogo was in there. And then somebody on the bench, I don't know exactly the story, but somebody on the bench realized that Jada Malone, who had already been subbed out at this point because we were up so big, was 1 rebound away from a double-double. So they stopped the game, they get Mimi out, and Mimi's like, yeah, totally. Like, she was like all down to let Jada come back in. You know, Mimi doesn't get to play a lot. Right? This is her time to play. And she was like, no, yeah, come in. So she was like selfless enough to let Jada come in there. Jada is in there for like 30 seconds and gets the rebound. First chance she gets the rebound. Gets a double-double, her 3rd double-double in her career, her first as a Lady Raider. The other 2 came at Texas A&M, and she left the game after that. They got Mimi back in there, and they gave her a standing ovation. Well deserved. I mean, just a great game from Jada Malone. And I know, I'm going to let you talk about her, because I know you were a big fan of Jada in the portal, so it's exciting to see her starting to come into her own.
Yeah. What I really love about Jada Malone is just that now there was like a turning point at some point right now in the non-conference. I thought, at the beginning, like she was giving us something, but I was still waiting on, where is that SEC Jada Malone that we were all asking for? And it seemed like once we got to that first opponent, within Arkansas, like it just something just clicked for her, because these past few games, I mean, she's been excellent and she's giving us what we need from her in the minutes that she's playing. 19 points tonight. 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, giving us offensive rebounds galore. Actually leads our team, I think, in offensive rebounds. And her assists, I mean, her 3 assists are just like, she can read the floor well. And I know that Danae talked about that in the presser yesterday or today about, how Jada, like, if Jada Malone is going to be down there and scoring points, like we're going to give her the ball. But if they're going to start going and doubling up on Jada Malone, then guess what? That leaves a shooter open. And then
she's like, me?
We're wide open. Yeah. And then Danae literally is like, and then Jade even talked about, trying to find Danae in the right places. As you said, she has a really high basketball IQ. And I was really impressed from what I saw from her tonight, because it's only going to get better. That's what we're going to get in her minutes. Like I'm sold. I'm excited. We can do some good things when we have a post presence and we can penetrate the paint, because that's something we haven't had in a while.
Yeah, it's not just her scoring. That's awesome. Absolutely. Right. It's how she facilitates and is kind of that becoming like the center point for the offense when like Gemma's not running things, right? Mm-hmm. So the way that she just allows movement around her to go and knows exactly what she needs to do, who to find. I asked her yesterday, or whatever time you're listening to this, I guess it would have been Tuesday, where they had a midweek media, and I asked her, where does that come from? Like her feel for the game is the thing that impresses me the most. And I asked her, where does that come from? And she gave a great answer. I'm going to make a clip with it at some point, so you get to see the full thing. But she said that a lot of it comes from the year that she was injured at Texas A&M. So she set out, and she had to watch from the sidelines, but she also just kind of had to watch, in film sessions. All she could do is watch. And so she learned the angles and stuff. And she said something that I loved. And she said, every defense kind of rotates the same, is what she said, which is true. And we've talked about that before, like the corner it is a weak spot in most defenses, right? And she gets that, right? She understands rotations on defense for the most part. They're going to throw some things every once in a while to trick you up, but for the most part, it's just basketball. They all kind of rotate the same, and she gets that. So she knows where to find her shooters. She knows, okay, I need to let them go, and then I go. It's just brilliant. So she talked about that. And then you talked about just now, it seems like something switched. Earlier in one of the press conferences, I had asked her like what was changing for Jada, and she said that after the Texas State game, which was the 3rd game of the year, she had a talk with Jada and kind of said, like, you need to be more productive and not in a, I'm sure it was hard coaching, because Gerlich does say in the post game that this team can handle hard coaching, which we'll see in a minute, but it was more in a, you can do this because I know you can, like, I believe that you can, like, don't get down on yourself, like, I believe you can be this for us. And so I asked Jada about that on Tuesday as well, and she said, yeah, to have a coach that trusts me with all those little things and to make those little mistakes, she said, and kind of work through it. And then to have teammates that are starting to trust me matters. And that's what's happening. And then to hear Danae to say that today, what Tyler already told you, and she said that she went on to say, like, it's not just the passes, but it's where she puts them. Like, she gets them in their shooting pocket really well. We've talked about that on this show 2 years ago with Bailey. Bailey's really good at that when her passes are always hit shooters in the shooting pocket so they can just go up and shoot. Jade is really good at that as well. And so it just takes some trust, and I feel like the team's starting to come around. The other thing that I asked her after the game, I've been impressed with her footwork. It's always pretty good, like the way that she doesn't travel down there. And she makes a lot of moves quickly.
Yeah, a lot.
Like, lots of moves. She's got to be a terror to guard. Good luck. And she doesn't move. That pivot foot is in the ground. That footwork is elite. And so I asked her after the game, I was like, honestly, Jada, do you have like a dance background or something? And everyone was laughing, and I didn't know why they were laughing, which we'll find out why in a minute. But she said, yeah, I did gymnastics and cheerleading. And I asked her, I was like, do you think that's what it is? And she's, yeah, no, probably. She's like, it has to come from somewhere. Like, maybe that's it. So I genuinely think it probably does come from that, because you don't just naturally have that. But I'm sure she's put in a lot of work as well. But if you saw the clip the team put out after the game, she was Lady Raider Dominator, and she was getting down in the locker room. So Gerlich was like, were you in the locker room when I asked that? Because she thought that's why I was asking. And I was like,
yes.
No. No. But she can dance as well. So I don't know what it is, but she has really good moves. But she's not finesse either at the same time. She loves physicality. She said that on Tuesday. She welcomes it. You saw that tonight. She's fine facilitating, but if someone's going to like start shoving her in the back, she's like, okay, bet. And she'll just back them down, take them to the hole, and score. And she said after this game, that being physical is one of the things that I pride myself on. And when other teams try to challenge me, I think that's when things become a little bit more fun, to be honest with you. I'm done, Tyler. I mean, dog. When people try to challenge me, I think that's when things become a little bit more fun. All day. And we have a lot of players, I think, that have that mindset, and she definitely fits right in with them.
Yeah, Coach Gerlich was talking about how she's liking the physicality and the intensity this season. And she said it's because, like, I think people, I don't know if they forget, but we do have 9 seniors on this team, and that's 9 seniors that may not play, may not play basketball again. They won't be playing college basketball.
They're in the
again.
mindset that they will not be playing college basketball. Maybe there's a weird, but they can't.
There could be weird things, yeah. But right now, it's like do or die, as Bailey said at the beginning of the year. So they are willing to put in the work. They're willing to get better. They're willing to, they saw it was Wichita State, but they saw it more as like a learning and growth opportunity to just work on things that they needed to work on, rather than just seeing it as 1-7 Wichita State that's not very good at basketball. But they were just able to really work on things, and we saw a lot of good things from people. And as I said, other people were stepping up as well. And as we saw Adley near the end of the game, just really
love that.
Really put it on. Yes, Adley's been in need of one. Sydney Love, I think, has stepped up in these past few games. Now that she's starting to feel a little bit better doing some things. So I think that these seniors are really starting to just be like, all right, here we go. We're going to do this. And you see it in them, and you see it in the games that they're playing. And Jada Malone today. I mean, what more could you really ask for, right? This team is just doing it.
They're doing it. And they out-rebounded Wichita State 53-31. That is by far our biggest rebounding margin of the year. Texas Tech had more defensive rebounds than Washington. Wichita State had total rebounds. Listen, they didn't shoot it well, so there was a ton of defensive rebounds up for grabs for us. We talked about that in the preview. That would be a thing, but they do offensive rebound it well, so we had to block out. And in those first 5 minutes where they had a little bit of a lead and they were getting good opportunities, it's because they were beating us on the boards, and then we kind of locked in. You mentioned Jada Malone had 10 rebounds. You know who else had 10 freaking rebounds in this game? Our 5'7" point guard from Spain, our little Spanish bulldog. I mean, she was getting she had like 7 in the first half, maybe. Like, she was going crazy in that first half. I think I tweeted like good gracious, like nobody rebounds like Emma Nunes. Like it's insane
It is
that that's
insane.
what she did. So like she had 10 rebounds. Jalen Bristow almost had a double-double. Like again, wasn't a great game for Jalen Bristow. She had 10 points and 8 rebounds. Like almost had a double-double. Like what are we doing? You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing about this team that is different to me is that we do have steady scoring, and we know those 3 players that are averaging, Snudda, Bailey, and Jalen are 15 to 16 points a game or whatever it is now. And you kind of know what you're going to get from Hima. It's always going to be some crazy stat line like she gives you. She'll get you a few points a game. Every once in a while, she'll get double digits. But you know what she's going to do. If Jada starts doing this, stop it. But then you look at the box score and you're like, I said midway, Danae Fritz was the best player on the court for a lot of this game until Jada broke out in the third quarter and had 11 points. And I was like, okay, player of the game. Rightfully so. But Danae is everywhere for this team. She had 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. And I counted at least, and I know the team tracks this, so they don't know the real number, at least 7 deflections. Hima is really high on the deflection chart as well. And I appreciated that after the game, Gerlich said, I don't think, I'm probably paraphrasing, but she said, I don't think Danae gets enough credit for how much she means to this team and what she does for this team defensively. She's always guarding the other team's best player.
Undervalued.
Yeah, very undervalued. Not on this podcast. Lord knows that. But hopefully people are starting to see the light because that's what she brings, and that's why she is a winning player, and she's had been on winning programs before, is because she does those little things. And she's just always playing defense. Like, I joked with her after the game, but if you watch them in the freaking warm-up line, I genuinely don't know if she knows she's doing it. She said, oh, we're just playing around. But she'll always, like, randomly, like, she'll be going to get the rebound and someone else is going up to shoot, and she'll just stick her arm out. Like, just, like, to distract them while they're shooting.
Funny.
And I'm like, I think it's just, like, instinctual.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't know how not to block a shot when she's near it, or she's just messing around out there. But you can tell how much she loves playing defense, but also how much she loves, like, leading that part for this team. And she talked about that. We talked to her a long time ago. Like in the preseason, like before one of their practices, I believe we talked to Danae Fritz, if I'm remembering that right. Or maybe it was in the summer leading up to, it was in the summer leading up to the USA. And she said that kind of being the leader and kind of leading the charge defensively is what she was going to take ownership of this season. And you've seen that. Because when we start to get in these lulls, it's her and Hima that kind of start the charge defensively. They get these deflections. Someone gets the steal. We go get an easy basket. All of a sudden, we're on a run. All of a sudden, it's 22-0 run for Texas Tech. We had at least three runs of 10 or more in this game. We had 5 all of last year runs of 10 or more points. All of last year. We had 8 or so coming into this game, and we had at least 3 tonight. So we're up to about 10 or 11. We had 5.
Wow.
We've already doubled that number.
Wow.
And that is because of our defense. Our
Yeah.
offense is a lot better, but our defense is spurring that on, and then we're able to finish it. And I think it's because of Danae Fritz and him and Nunez. I'm sure Fritz likes having a little partner in crime out there to start all the grit with. But yeah, they don't get enough credit for what they do. But this whole team's that way. Like, I come up from a content background, and so when I get done with the games, I'm like, oh, who am I going to highlight? And like most teams, it's like, oh, you have 2 or 3 players.
Right.
Cool. This team, and I've covered other teams before, so it's not just speaking about Texas Tech. This team is ridiculous because every night I'm like, there's like 7 people in this box score that have done something absurd that deserve to be recognized for it. And I can't recognize all of them, except for that's what this show exists for. But like online, I can't like make a piece of content for all of them. But I might this week, Tyler, because they don't play for 9 days. So you just get your little butt ready for a bunch of Instagram reels for all these players and all the silly things they're doing, because they deserve the recognition. And I think that's kind of a big part of why they're doing better this year, is just because it's kind of like no one seems to care. Like even in the post game, Jada got her little award, and like the first thing she did was like, she called out Hima and said, I saw your 10 rebounds, and like gave her a high five. Like that's what this team's about.
The culture on this team, I think, is just so great, and even Coach Gerlich alluded to that. She said, like, this team has little to no drama. That Germany trip really all did them well.
We have a clip of that, actually. We can show.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, let's roll the clip.
Let's just show you that
roll
clip,
the clip.
and then
Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Roll the clip. We'll actually disappear and let y'all watch the whole thing, because I think it's like a minute long.
There to try to help our net and not knowing what it was going to look like, what our team was even going to look like. But also the Germany trip was planned, right? So we knew going into this year that we would be able to compete in our non-conference really, really well. I'm not sure that we knew that we would be 10-0 right now. I mean, I think there was that stretch where we thought we could probably lose one of those. But the way this team is playing right now and clicking, it definitely is setting us up, and it does feel different. I mean, this is a different group of girls. It's a different mindset. We have little to no drama. We've got really mature kids. They want to be coached hard. And I don't know if y'all can see it on the sidelines or whatever, but during the games, I mean, some of them are really getting coached hard, and they're not pouting about it. They're not dropping their head. They're listening. They're adjusting, and then we're turning it up and winning big ball games. So it's just a special group, and they're just growing every single day, and you can just tell they're really hungry.
I mean, put it on the fridge.
Wow.
Right there.
Wow.
For lead into that question, I had asked her, this is the second time in 3 years that y'all have started 10-0. And 2 years ago, they started 11-0. But it was very different. And it's very different statistically. We'll get into the net in a minute. That team reached as high as like 50th in the net, maybe. And they were 11-0. This team is now 10-0, and they're in the top 20 of the net. It's different. But I wanted to know, like, if she felt like it was different, like being around them. Those are her words. So there's not much else to say. But I appreciate that she didn't sugarcoat it. And I think that you're seeing that. And I think that's what's going to help them. Are they going to lose a game eventually? The bias in me wants to say no. We're winning the freaking natty. But likely, yes, this team is going to lose a game once they, hopefully, at this point, it needs to be when they get to Big 12 play. But do I think they're going to lose a ton of games? No. Like, I really don't. They can absolutely surprise people, shock people, as Jada Malone said in their post game. So a big reason why is to get the tournament, you got to have a good net rating, right? Mm-hmm. Came out this week for the first time. We hinted at it in our last episode. Hadn't come out when we recorded that. They debuted at number 21 in the net. I think that's kind of where they stayed as of Wednesday. We'll see where it is tomorrow after their game tonight. But yeah, I mean, you're in the tournament with a net of 21 as a power conference team. Absolutely. It's the highest that I remember. My guess is it's the highest since the 2013 team that made the tournament. It's the highest in the Gerlich era for sure. That team I mentioned got up to where maybe like 48 or something. I think the team said 56 in their press release, so I'll go with that. And they were 11-0. And that's the thing about the net, and I don't want to rant too long because I'm a nerd, and I will. We'll have to talk about the net a lot this year. But what people need to know about the net is it's not about your win-loss record necessarily. It's about how you win and lose the games. And the difference in that team and this team is we're winning very efficiently. And I think even though we played a really, really bad net-rated team tonight, I'm hopeful because we were so efficient. It was one of our most efficient defensive and offensive games of the year. Rebounding, all those things. It won't hurt us in the net, and it'll actually help us. We'll see tomorrow. But that's what matters. It's not that we won by 40. It's that we won efficiently, and that's what they've been doing all year. And they beat up a New Mexico team that's decent in the net on the road by 30. The net really likes road wins. So it's all about offensive efficiency minus defensive efficiency. Doesn't necessarily take into account scoring margin, despite what people think. But, of course, if you win by 40, like we did tonight, and you do that, it's going to help your efficiency numbers if you do it efficiently. How many times can I say efficient? It's about playing efficient basketball. Case in point, there was a team in the Big 12 that before tonight, they lost tonight, were 6-0, Arizona. Their net was 150. So it's not about winning the games, it's how you win them. They were not winning them efficiently. That's the difference. So you can hear it from Gerlich, why they're different. You can hear it from us. If you don't want to believe any of that, numbers don't lie. And that's what they're at. So if they keep doing this, they're going to keep winning games. It's the truth. So, like, that's why I'm excited for them. Is, like, their hard work is paying off. And now they have some time off to finals and all the things, but get better before a road game with a Washington State team that we'll preview next week. But they almost beat BYU, who I think is undefeated or has one loss on the season to a ranked Vanderbilt. They took them down to the wire and only lost by 2 in Provo tonight. So we'll preview them next week. But tough place to play, a little bit of a sketch place to travel to, if we're being honest, in Pullman, Washington. Gym and hotel, gals. Nowhere else, no sightseeing in Pullman. Yeah, we'll talk more about that game next week, but it's all ahead of them, so I kind of just like I'm really excited for conference right now, but like they can't get that way because they got to keep it
Right.
day by day. But the way they talk, you can tell. Jada's talked a lot about that. We've heard Zane say it before, and Bailey, of course. So a lot of urgency with seniors, and a lot of seniors that have won before, but also some seniors that haven't. Like, and they're very hungry, and so now they've mixed with these people that have the same mindset of them, and it's probably a little bit of a breath of fresh air for them to be like, oh God, I'm like, these people get it, and now we can finally do it. So it's kind of exciting for both kind of groups of people that have done it before and others that haven't.
Yeah, I think this team can do some amazing things. I mean, if you're looking at, what some of these computers are projecting for this season, I mean, it could really turn some heads. But I think that coming in at number 21,
Second place.
yeah,
Chill.
literally. I think coming in at number 21, though, in the net, like I was really happy to see that. I mean, I think that exceeded what I thought we may have been, but it's good to
I was
see
gonna be
that
happy
we're
with top
playing efficient.
50, top 30.
Yeah, we were like top
20.
30 something. They said, hold my beer. We're gonna put you at 21. And I just
Sorry
think
for
that,
disrespecting you,
yeah,
gals. My
I
bad.
know. And I just think that's cool. And I think that the players recognize that too. They asked, the AP poll voters still haven't gotten their shit together yet. They'll get it together eventually, but they asked the
Who
team about that
cares?
all week, and they're like, they don't really care. They said they know the net is what's important. The net is what does necessarily get you into the NCAA tournament. And they were
Oh
like,
my God.
the AP poll, it'll come eventually. All that will come eventually. But I think that it just really shows the net, at least, it's showing like, oh, they are playing good basketball. And I think these players are seeing, it's like a reward for their hard work and how well they've been able to finish out games and win games and come through it. And then to circle back with Danae and Hema, I mean, we've mentioned, whenever I've done previews, we've mentioned all of these top guards, and like they've both held them to like their lowest scoring margin, maybe other than SMU, but other than
Yeah.
that, they've locked down on them, and it's been impressive.
Even the girl tonight that had double figures is like top 10 in the nation in 3-pointers made this year, and she only made 2 tonight.
Yeah, and
So-
she was the only one that had double figures at 11 points. That was it. All
Yeah.
she got was 11 points. Impressive.
And I think
Lockdown.
a lot of that. And she was 0 for 6 from 3 at halftime, so she kind of got some of those at the end. But yeah, our defense is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if Jade is going to get more effective down there as well. Like, we're going to still run into trouble when there's a team that has like a stretch 5 or something, but there's just not very many teams that have stretch 5s. Those are teams that are like in the national championship conversation because that's such a rare breed of player, but that's where we're still going to cool. Everybody has trouble with that. Audie Crooks, I mean, let Jada go to work, but like she's just, I mean, whatever. It's cool. We're going to have to beat them in other ways. Like these are all things that will come across, but I keep getting better. A little too many turnovers in the first half. They fixed that in the second half. I could nitpick some moments of stagnant offense that I was like, and then it was like over and done with so much that I almost forgot about it. So they just gotta keep moving forward. So yeah, I love that they're focusing on the net. I about fell out my chair and cried when Gerlich said that in the post game as a stat nerd over here, because that's the truth. Like AP votes polls mean nothing. The net is all that should matter. And as Gerlich said, control what you can control. And the fun thing about the net is if you want to make it fun as players, is it literally is a direct reflection of what you're doing. And it comes out every day. So like if you play a game, you're going to see like the results of what you did if you understand it. And I feel like the coaching staff is educating them, or the players are educating themselves this year. I don't know. They just seem like they're talking about it more. Maybe it's because they're ranked so high. Like, why do you want to talk about it when you're not? To be fair. So, but they just seem like they understand kind of the parts of it. And that's the way to do it, is kind of just use it as a measuring stick. And the net is the only thing that matters. Voters are going to vote on whatever. But the committee used the net. So love it or hate it, they do. Speaking of committees, Tyler, our old football team is number 4 in the nation, right? There's a good little measuring stick for you on the basketball side. They did not start there. It took them a while, down to the second to last college football playoff rankings of the year, to finally break in. to the top 4 in a bye, first round bye territory going into the championship game on Saturday. They say the Big 12 championships or conference championships are not supposed to hurt you because otherwise, why would we play? But let's be real, if we lose, I doubt we're a top 4 seed. So, Texas Tech, if they want a bye, needs to beat BYU. BYU is rightfully upset. They're being disrespected. I could rant. If I was a BYU fan, I feel for them. They're being disrespected. They should already be in the college football playoff. Speaking of numbers, I wish football had a net because it would tell them how stupid they're being and biased they're being towards some of these teams over BYU. But they're not, and they probably need to beat Texas Tech to get in there unless some crazy stuff happens. And that means we're going to get a fired up, angry bunch of Cougars who also just got their coach back, so they're juiced. Almost got stolen by Penn State, and he said, never mind, I'm staying. That's all happened in the last 48 hours. Crazy stuff happening. We blew them out before, relatively. I hope it happens that way, but just the emotions of it, I don't know. We're both going to be there, like we said. I'm excited. Could be a good game. I just hope we win. How are we going to beat them, Tyler?
Yeah, this game, I think what I've seen is like this Big 12 title game, and I think the SEC title game, people are saying is like the most consequential when you're looking at the rankings. And yeah, you explained it. It basically,
For sure.
win in, you're in. And I'm gonna just go on a limb and say that, like, yes, we might, like, if something bad were to happen, we could still be in, but I really don't trust this committee. So, like, basically, you win and you're in. That's just all that we just need to be
I
focused
think
on.
we're in the college football playoff no matter what. But I don't think we're going to have a bye if we lose.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
that's
to
what I
play.
think, and that's what
Yes.
should happen. But again,
There's no way
if
they're
other
dropping.
stuff happens randomly
It's
in
just
these
not
other
happening.
conference games,
Yeah.
it can get squirrely. But for now, win and you're
Yeah.
in, and we don't have to worry about any of that. But yeah,
For
last
sure.
time relatively beat them, like, it was beating 29-7, 11
A
a.m.
lot of
also.
field goals.
Yeah, lots. I think we had 5 field goals in that game. But I think for this game, I think what we really need to do is just we need to utilize gap schemes. We need to exploit BYU's linebackers for sure. We need to
Okay.
really use our tight ends a lot in this game. I think it worked
TC.
last time well. So yeah, we need to use TC a lot. Our offensive line needs to protect Morton. That was the thing that I did remember very, very, very clearly
Especially in the
from.
first drive, it was
Yes.
scary times.
It was very scary times. Like, Morton was like falling all over the floor. He was just like getting sacked. Like, it was not fun to watch. So our O line needs to step up and protect Barron in this. There's not going to be outside elements that should affect anything like cold weather or warm weather. It'll be set at 72 or whatever it is at AT&T
Only
Stadium.
thing that could get them is that godforsaken sun, because
Oh
God
my
forbid we put
gosh,
up
not the sun.
freaking curtains. But whatever, cherry world.
It could be the sun. Yeah, that could be what can you imagine if that's like what holds us back?
I think other teams are allowed to block it out. So I wonder if the Big 12 will put up curtains. I have no idea. But other
Yeah.
events like concerts put up curtains all the time. So I don't know why the football team couldn't. But it's fine. Whatever.
Hopefully they get off to that. And then also on our offense, I think we really need to focus on starting off fast and then finding our explosive plays. We do have the best explosive play rating in the country in the first half,
Facts.
apparently. And I believe that 100%. We tend to start off really strong, so then at the end of the game, we're kind of cruising. Think we can do that. And then the last one, I thought this was really interesting from the BYU game because I was going back through the stats and really looking at it because I felt like we did have a lot of missed opportunities. Do not give up touchdown opportunities for field goals. I know sometimes we get stuck in those situations, but apparently we had 5 field goals within the 30-yard line. And like that just can't happen. We have to execute in the red zone. That's been the area we've struggled in all season.
That is the game that sparked the coined phrase that the team now uses that says most people call it the red zone. The team calls it the no stone zone now because Stone Harrington is their kicker. So they don't want to see Stone Harrington on the field until a PAT.
Oh, I love that.
It's the no stone zone. They started saying that after BYU. And our red zone offense has been a lot better since that game. But yeah, we would have beaten BYU like 49-7 or something. If we
It
just
could have
had
been really bad.
We dominated that game. The scoreboard just doesn't necessarily reflect that. But we definitely dominated them. So I don't know if maybe it's a BYU thing. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. And I think BYU, as you said, like, yes, they've played a lot better. Their defense has gotten a lot better. But I mean, again, I think that we just really have to put pressure on them. I think they're going to want to try to do their little, I think they're gonna try to do their rushing game, or they're gonna just freak out and then try to go back to passing, which I mean that could work for them with us, but at the same time, I feel like there's just gonna be a certain point in time where that's not gonna work, and then they're gonna try to go back to using L.J. Martin occasionally. But I don't know. I'm just really confident that our defense is just gonna be able to
Fair.
kind of stop the
Yeah.
BYU offense. I mean, I was even looking at BYU's other games, and it's just like West Virginia. They played them close. They played Colorado close in the year. I mean, they were struggling with some things, and it's just BYU's just having trouble to get it because that's what they want to do. They want to run the ball, but then when you have this swarm coming at you, they're not really able to make much happen, and that's what we saw. Like they were just getting like 2nd and 9, 3rd and 7, like. And then when that's against us, like we just have to hope that our secondary can stop it, and then we're cruising. I mean, they're punting the ball. I mean, West Virginia didn't even have a first down for like
Oh
hours.
my God, that game was. Did you see the rant that Pat? Oh God, what is his name? I need to sleep. He has his own show. He's like
McAfee?
former. Yeah, he played at West Virginia, and then before he went to the NFL, and so he went on this rant. Did you see his rant on his show, Tyler?
I did not. No, I did
oh
not.
my God,
I
you gotta
need
go
to see
watch it. It's
Okay, I
so
will.
good. It's like a 5-minute clip. I'll send it to you. It's a 5-minute clip where he's talking about how Texas Tech needs to leave the Big 12. He's basically
Wow.
like, he's just like, they're just too good and it's not fun. Did you see what they did to us? We lost 49-0. We couldn't even get a first down. They're 4th-string quarterback. He's like, the SEC needs to call him up. Why have they not done it? And everyone's like, well, it's because Sankey's scared of him. And he's like, I know, but they need to get the hell out of the Big 12. But like in a complimentary way, he was just saying like, no, they're just like too good to be in our conference, like leave. So he was like making the biggest case ever for us to get put into one of the the Big 10 or the SEC. I don't know. Someday maybe if we win the national championship, first call, Sankey's gonna be like, all right, come over, because like God forbid the SEC doesn't win a football championship.
Oh God.
But yeah. Back to the game, though. I am interested to see if BYU tries to throw it more, because they were so conservative against us I feel like it got like they were just trying to play it safe because they have a freshman quarterback. It was on the road against a great defense, and it just felt like they were just really safe. And then there was that, in the second half, they kind of opened it up and they had that drive where they just walked down the field and scored against us.
Yeah.
And it's like, and their fans were like, why were we not doing that the whole time, right? And so I do wonder if we see more of that. I wonder if they try to throw it more, because the running did not work. And then I think they might try to throw to open up the run instead of run to open up the pass, which is like the stereotypical like way to do it. It's just not working against our defense. So if we want to put a bet on it right now, Tyler, we're not betting people, but do you think the first play of the game for BYU is going to be a pass or a run? I'm going to go pass, even though like their metrics probably have it like 80% favor a run.
Ooh. Hell no.
Well, let me just say in a planned pass, because even if he drops back against us, it could end up being a run because our pass rush could like force him out of the pocket. But he drops back to pass. Will he get it off? I don't know.
I think. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with a run. I think they're gonna have to start.
I'm
gonna
say
to see what
it's
they
gonna
can
be a quick pass out to the flat for a wide receiver screen to Chase Roberts. First play of the game for BYU. Book it. I'll clip it if it happens, even though that's for the other team. We're gonna like tackle them and he's gonna get like half a yard. Right. But that's my prediction.
I mean, I can see them definitely changing what they're gonna do scheme wise. I mean, they're
work.
trying to find every way to do it. So
like, you know what I mean? Like, why not try something else? Maybe they were holding stuff back. Maybe they're like, we don't need to win this game because we come in with a better record. They were undefeated at that point. We know we just need to beat them in Arlington. Maybe they're playing chess on checkers. I doubt it, but maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited to be there. I've been to Cowboy Stadium, but I've never covered a sport there, so I'm like really intrigued to see all the behind the scenes of it and the press conference room, because all that stuff is fun. So do that, and maybe I can sneak onto the field for the hopefully trophy presentation.
Oh yes, it's gonna be such a fun time. Wear your red. I think there might be rally towels for Texas Tech fans laid out. So just
sold out crowd. Did we say that? Sold out crowd.
Yeah, there's gonna be sold out crowd.
Expected to be the biggest crowd in Big 12 championship history.
What happens when you have two programs with fans that actually care and love
Care.
the game and, are in close proximity.
And
But
we
mostly
like
care.
each other. And our
Yeah.
hate week has been so lovely. We're just like, you're awesome. You're
The
awesome.
$20 bill thing seen
Yeah.
Scarlett tweeted.
Yeah. Oh man, I
Oh.
love their fans so much. Like if I can get there early enough and I'm allowed, I just don't know what my media pass allows, but I bet I can get into the concourse. Watch me. I'm gonna get out there and I think I might roam around and try to interview some BYU fans just to get their vibes before the game. They seem like good people. Maybe I'll run into some of them Friday night. We'll see. But yeah, no, I love them. I think if it was anybody but us. Like if TCU, if literally any team in the Big 12 was playing against BYU, I would be rooting for BYU because I want two teams in the Big 12 to be in the playoff. I hate that to do that they have to beat Texas Tech. So I can't root for it, but it would be good for the Big 12 if they won. But we need the bye. So
we need it badly.
if I knew, like if we were number 1 in the nation right now and we could like get away with a loss, I'd be like, yeah, let's lose. Fine. But we can't. I think we have to win. And there's a world if we win and like some crazy crowd, we can get up to number 2. But it's possible. Like if Georgia loses and Ohio State loses and like those two teams are playing each other in the Big 10, like one of them has to lose. So I don't know if they're just going to keep them there because like why should they get docked? But I don't know.
Yeah. Don't want to get
What if
too
they're-
greedy, but I will say that I think a 2 or a 3 seed for this Texas Tech team can get them potentially further to get them to higher
So,
goals.
like
than a
avoid
4
Ohio
would.
State until
And
like
Georgia,
the champion.
teams like that.
Well, I think you're gonna get either or. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
avoid both of them, but you're gonna get one of them in the semifinals. But Ohio State seems to be the consensus better team. But I get Georgia's like scary because they're from the SEC. But
Big bad SEC.
Ohio State handled Texas, so who thinks they should be in the playoff?
Funny, we're now the
Damn.
best program in Texas officially. So
That would be crazy if
Fun.
UNT gets in. They're in their conference championship. So if they win, so can you imagine a world? SMU were in this, but there could have been 3 Texas teams in the playoff, and none of them beat Texas. 4, and none of them beat Texas because Texas A&M's gonna make it. There could have been 4 teams from Texas, so there still could be 3 teams from Texas, and none of them be UT, who started the year number 1 in the preseason rankings. God, I love
Crazy.
sports. I love sports so
I love
much.
sports. What a
Love
story.
it. Ah, what a story. All right, well, that's football. We'll be back to recap this some point next week. Monday, probably. We'll see when we're both back from traveling. Men's basketball, again, is playing LSU on Sunday. Are you staying in town for that game, Tyler?
I think I might. It's
Oh,
up in
sweet.
the air. I don't know what I want to do yet.
I haven't decided yet either. I doubt
Yeah.
I do. But it could be fun. I could be convinced. We'll see what my friends end up convincing me or not. But currently, I'm planning to drive back to Lubbock after the game on Friday or Saturday. But we'll see. But they're playing LSU, who is undefeated in the Coast to Coast Challenge at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. Have a 52% chance to win. I'm assuming this is based on Torvik. Minus 0.8 points given to LSU. So we are the slight underdog.
Yeah.
in this.
ESPN FPI or ESPN's basketball power index has us at like almost a 52% chance to win.
ESPN. Okay.
Yeah, but then Torvik has they don't have a spread yet for our game, but the ESPN at least doesn't have one yet. And then Torvik said that LSU is like a 1-point favorite. It's going to be a competitive basketball game, and I think we're going to
LSU.
find out a lot.
The net came out for the men too, and LSU's pretty high, if I remember right. 16th in the net.
Oh, and we're
And
number
Texas
what?
Tech is
35,
38
38. Okay,
as
we
of
dropped a little.
Wednesday. Yeah. They have not been playing efficient basketball, but like it'll take
It'll take
steps
time.
to get there. So, we'll see. That's all I have. Again, women's basketball's off this week, so we won't talk women's basketball. I mean, we'll talk about it on the next episode to preview their next game against Washington State next Friday, but no recaps coming, just football and men's basketball recap. Easy stuff. We deserve a
Easy.
little bit of a break. It's been a lot.
We do. I know it has
So,
been a lot.
No portal craziness, people. Let us live. All right.
No portal craziness.
It is what it is. All right, Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.